Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to The It Factor, blessing the airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
Biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the SBTV program. I am the Dream, and I'm here with my boy, the Mad Hatter, and we want everybody to get up out of your seats this morning and get it popping. Let's go, y'all.
Happy Friday Eve, T-Dream.
Hey, what's going on, kid, man? Good to talk to you, and I am, if you can't tell, jacked up and excited about this upcoming weekend as I think I am going to solve all my NFL woes.
Yeah, you think so, huh? Well, I'm looking at a pretty hefty spread, a double-digit spread, as a matter of fact, with that game that I know that you're zeroed in on, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers and Miami Dolphins playing each other this weekend.
I know the spread, it just keeps getting heavier and heavier. If I could get some of those big money wise guys out there that got involved in the Washington-Alabama game, if I could get them to go and take Miami,
Yeah, good point. Good
I
point.
would feel a lot better.
Well, they're saying that the temperature is going to be very low. It's going to be in the teens. So they were talking about Le'Veon Bell actually came on and said that he's got the best cold weather quarterback in the game, which I agree to a certain extent, but Aaron Rodgers is pretty good in the cold as well.
Dude, listen, one thing about weather, and I said this a lot, cold weather and weather conditions affect both teams. They do not just affect one team. People think just because they play in Miami, these guys like they're constantly out in the sun and, oh my God, we can't play in this weather. Cold weather affects both teams. The other side to that, the flip side to that is that once you get out there and get going in adrenaline and you're running around, with the exception of a couple of spots, there's been a couple of games that the adrenaline still wasn't helping you out. But once you get on that field and you get popping and the first snap gets off, your mind immediately is, you're on the game for the most part, the athletes are. You're not really concentrating on the cold. Now, yeah, if you're on the sideline and not in the game, you have lapses. But once you get back on that field and you are trying to execute and do what you have to do, you are fully prepared for that. So unless you get, I can't remember the game. There was, remember the Seattle, Minnesota game last year? Remember that?
I do. It was freezing cold.
Now, that game, maybe your mind said, okay, it's cold as hell out here. I don't really want to play football today.
Yep.
You know, but in general, unless you get like a super serious freezing situation, it's going to have effect on both sides, and then both sides are going to get beyond it, and both sides are going to get past it, and then the game's going to be, fine. So moving forward, I'm not too concerned about that. I don't really factor in weather as far as cold into the equation immensely, but we will keep an eye on it.
Well, it does definitely hinder your ability a little bit, like you said, Dream, if you're sitting on the sideline, like if you're a special teams player or, like you're on just the kickoff and your team doesn't score.
Good point. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Or you're an offensive player where you're 4 and out or 3 and out, and then punting the ball, and then you're just sitting there waiting for a long 7-minute drive on the opposing team to get back out there. It's got to kind of weigh on you a little bit. So,
Definitely a little bit. It does have a small factor, and I agree with that 100%. And the special teams, great point by you. I left that little part out, and that's a great point. I think, though, for the most part, the offense and the defenses, though, once they get out there, even if they've sat for a minute, it may make you still a little bit more anxious, but I think you put the cold to the side once you get on the field. Now you just got your regular, we're not in rhythm because we've been sitting on the bench, what could happen in any type of weather.
Especially if you're a lineman. You're a lineman or you're a receiver running routes downfield each and every down. Then you pretty much warm up relatively fast. Like, 2-3 plays into it, you're already set, your heart is beating, and you're ready to go. So, good morning to everybody. We are the SBTV Nation. We are live on Twitter and looking forward to talking about Dream. You got to do another fantasy contest, so I'm good with that.
Well, let's get it popping. I mean, it is the playoffs. We're going to only have 4 teams that we will be able to choose the athletes from. It's a playoff-style format for fantasy. I've seen it done before. I think that we could do it. I don't have a problem with it.
Definitely.
I like it. I really enjoy this daily fantasy thing. I got to be honest with you. Even though I haven't done that well in it.
I was going to say, man, you enjoy sliding your boy money every week? Making donations to your boy over here?
First of all, I didn't make no donations to you. Second of all.
Yes, you did, because I was in the money 2 weeks in a row now. I'm
getting a feel for it, and this is like you. This is my 3rd time playing. I'm getting a feel for it, and I enjoy it. And guess what? I mean, I think probably with only 4 teams, you really separate the men from the boys here. It's probably that much tougher.
You got 4 games, and you have 8 teams to select from. So that'd be pretty cool. So we'll do it. Yeah, what we'll do is, we do have the champion out there that is Rick Lopez, and it pains me to say that because he stripped me of the title. But you know what? Every champion is due a rematch. And you know what, Rick? I'll be more than happy to take my belt back where it rightfully belongs, around my waist. So I'm looking forward to it, and I will create the contest. I will do – you want to go 20 people dream again?
I don't know. It's up to you. I don't know what you think is adequate. It's you tell me. I have no idea.
Well, because of the lack of teams, usually, last one was 16 games, which was 32 teams. So I think I'll keep it at 20 just because there is only 4 games, but I'm sure. We fill up 20 pretty fast. So I'll keep it at 20 this time. And, if we get a big response, then, the following week maybe we'll pump it up a little bit. But
I got to do some talking. Now that we've talked about that, I do have to talk about the NCAA bowl games that went down on Monday.
Yeah.
USC Penn State, one for the ages.
Great game.
Dude, you talk about an incredible game. That being said, the refereeing in that game was absolutely if I had lost that game, dude, I would have probably had to just go for a long drive because I was so irate at some of the call, especially the fumble turnover call. Do you remember this call?
You know what? I was back and forth with this game. I had to step out for a minute, come back and watch some, step out, come back and watch some. So, you know what? It was definitely a really, really good game, Dream. I did not see the fumble, though, that you're talking about.
Okay, so Penn State's guy fumbles the ball.
Okay.
And they get in you know how they always got the fumble drill. Everybody just jumps out and tries to grab the ball.
Sure.
Well, some kind of way, the USC ends up with the ball.
Okay.
They go to video and turn the ball back over to Penn State,
really?
Saying that the guy on the bottom, because he did reach out and reach for the ball, but that's usually that's always irrelevant. In every football game I've ever seen, it's irrelevant if you see one guy reaching the ball and kind of almost have it. Once that pile is made and the refs get in there and get a look, whoever comes out with that, because the ball in those piles, that ball changes possession probably 2 to 3 times before the refs get down there to really get in there and get the guys separated and get a look at who's got the ball. They ended up giving that ball back to Penn State. That play could have seriously cost USC the game. Luckily enough, USC was able to overcome that. It was I have not seen that call in the NFL or in college football. I have never seen it. I haven't seen it done like that.
You need conclusive evidence to overturn a call.
No doubt.
And you're saying that he didn't clearly possess the ball on the bottom of the ground?
No, he didn't. He reached out for it.
Yep.
You see him reach out for it, and you see his hand near it. Then the pile assembles, and then USC guy comes out with the ball.
Oh, okay. Because if there was clear evidence of him having his hand on top of the ball.
Yeah, but it was shaky, Hat. It was shaky. Trust me, it was not. I've never. If you saw it, and you probably can go back on YouTube and take a look at it. If you saw it, I'm telling you, I've never seen it in that type of situation. I've never seen them give that ball to that guy. They usually always award the ball, which was the call on the field. They gave the ball to USC because USC was the team that came out with the ball. generally, that's how it goes.
Interesting. Well, you know what, Dream? It was a great game, and it looked like USC was going to run away with that in the beginning. And you and I were going back and forth on that game. And sure enough, all of a sudden, Penn State, and you know what, too? I was thinking about texting you and being like, not so fast. You know, because Penn State is a second-half team. They've been all year.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, you know, I go back to the game, and they're up big. I'm like, oh, wow, this is crazy. And you know what? But you always felt that USC would make a game out of it, if not come out with victory.
Well, the thing that I found very impressive about Penn State, they held their poise, got it together, and they ended the first half on a relatively strong note. Then, in the second half, they just punched him in the mouth right out of the gate, which was dope on their part. Sure. USC, though, another team you got to give them some credit too, held their poise and came right back. I'm telling you, this game, as far as I'm concerned, dude, best game of the season as far as I'm concerned. Bowl season or regular season. This one right here was a great game. It was a dogfight. It was a hard-fought fight. A lot of scoring, a lot of offensive plays, some great downfield plays, just a lot of excitement, and everything you want to see as far as I'm concerned in a bowl game. Now, let's move it over to another game.
Yes.
I want to talk about this Wisconsin game for a minute.
Yeah.
Those of you that had Wisconsin and had Wisconsin with the points, which if you listen to this program, you know better, but I feel really bad because the last play that Wisconsin got their first down on, that kid could have ran for a touchdown.
Oh, I would believe me. Your boy was on Western Mich plus the points. So I was watching that like, dude, he's going to get in the end. I was texting you during it.
I know you were, and I could not believe that he didn't run in the end zone and he goes straight to the ground. I was like, oh my God, no way. And when you told me, you said, oh, they're going to get me. I'm like, they're not going to get you, dude. I'm like, this is the final score. Remember I kept telling you that?
Yeah, you did.
Listen, I've been in that situation where you were in, but needed to score. Needed to just to kick the field goal. Like 3 times this year, and they let the clock run out and take knees. So I knew that you were going to get it. I told you. I said, dude, that's the final score of the game. If you were going to lose that game, you would have lost it there, not on the other end.
Right on. Exactly. So, you know what? And, Dream, you got to give it to Western Michigan. They played more well than we thought they would.
I don't know. Wisconsin did play a little bit too conservative. I thought Wisconsin was very conservative in that game. I will give Western Michigan a little bit of credit, but I still think that it was too conservative in that particular game.
But that's how Wisconsin plays. That's their game. They play that all year long, and that's why they lost games like versus the Ohio State University, where they had the lead, and they played conservative, and they just could not contain the offense towards the end of the game. It's just the way it was.
But you understand them playing conservative against the Ohio State University. You don't understand them playing conservatively, at least I don't, against Western Michigan.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what my point is. And it's your bowl game. Go out there, commandingly take, because there was 2 points in this game where I thought they were going to blow the doors off.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you know, the play calling gets a little stagnant, and it gets a little tired and conservative, and they run the ball in third down situations where I'm like, what are they doing? Yeah. And, I felt that they felt that their defense could handle whatever Western Michigan had, which their defense did when it needed to. But my point was, you play around with that too much. Sometimes it comes back to bite you.
Oh, especially if you have a big mistake. Pick six or a fumble recovery for a touchdown or something crazy. All of a sudden, Western Michigan has the lead, and you're like, uh-oh. Because you don't have the high-powered offense to just score at will either.
You don't, and they don't have, so you're absolutely right with that. But good job by Wisconsin. That bowl game was a little bit entertaining, not as entertaining as USC Penn State, but a little entertaining. We'll go up to the earlier game just for a second. Is Florida bludgeoned Iowa. It didn't happen till late that Florida really pulled away, but that game was about as boring as you could get was the Pillow Bowl as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you knew it was going to be. I mean, we talked about the under the whole show. Pretty much. That was two pretty decent defenses, and sure enough, I mean, Iowa just did not come to play. Looks like they came to
play. They just were not able to have any type of execution success against Florida's defense, which we knew Florida had a good defense.
Yeah.
We knew that. Now, this is my question, and I still keep asking myself, and I know about you guys ought to be asking yourself this too. How the hell did Michigan beat Penn State?
Oh. Well, Penn State, in the beginning of the year, they went on this massive winning streak at the end. And I believe that their momentum really swung when they beat Ohio State in Penn State.
Right.
That's when they really became a powerhouse. And you know what? It just seemed like their momentum and their confidence just started growing and growing and growing. So that's where it ended up happening, Dream, in my opinion.
Yeah, to me, though, I'm still wondering, once again, you're back to that conservative play calling and you're too concerned about losing and you're worried about keeping things tight and not opening up your offense. And I think at the end of the day, maybe that had something to do with it. Also, I guess maybe Michigan, I don't know, fell off a little bit. I'm puzzled. I don't understand Michigan, personally. I know you were on them at the beginning of the season, which I was not. Then they kind of had me swaying towards them towards the middle of the season as they were so dominant on the defensive end against a lot of teams. I always question their offense, but seeing their dominance on the defensive end, I was starting to say, all right, you know what? That might be onto something with this team. He did do a great job with the 49er defense as well. So I was kind of buying into it. Then out of nowhere, all of a sudden the defense is booty.
Well,
and then they end the season. We expected them to get into the playoffs. They end the season with those, with that loss, and then you go into your bowl game, and their defense was non-existent in that bowl game.
Well, you know what? The loss to Iowa really hurt.
Of course,
that was a bad loss, and they had the lead in that game too. And it was just, there was a couple of key major losses that were, they were heavily favored. I believe them versus Iowa, I believe they were either a 17 or a 20-point favorite in that game, Dream, and they lost. And the same thing with Ohio State versus Penn State. So, you got a couple of games in the Big Ten there that really changed the momentum of everything,
Sure.
For a couple of different
but
teams.
Ohio State, Penn State, I don't think that was as big of a shocker as the Michigan-Iowa.
I don't know, because Ohio State was running through teams at that point when they played Penn State. And then Penn State just got it done and changed the momentum. But anyway, guys, we are on college football. We are getting ready because we have the national championship game going on this Monday night. Dream.
Yes.
Any thoughts of underdog coming to form here?
No. And you know what's funny about this game is Lane Kiffin was told to kick rocks.
Yes.
Guys, I know you guys think this probably was, he got recruited from the other team, and that's not how this was supposed to go, okay? Because Alabama, Lane Kiffin, and Florida did their exchange correctly. Lane was not supposed to go till after he finished with the national title game.
Right.
That's how all college football should do it. It's okay if you negotiate, but the coaches should remain in place till the season is done. And that's how it was going to happen. It's funny that this went down this way because I was actually on the phone with one of my boys during that Alabama game, and we were saying to each other, dude, this play calling it stinks. I'm like, I wish, and my buddy says, I wish Lane Kiffin would have just took off, before this game so that somebody else could have called the plays. Sure enough, here comes Saban out in the interview.
Yeah, right.
Wishing Lane the best. That's called. I reviewed the tape, and you know what? I wasn't feeling your play calling
That's
either.
Exactly what
Kick
that is.
rocks. Get my boy Sarkisian a scotch and soda, and let's get him calling the plays.
A little bit of boogers and alcohol down on the sideline for my boy there, Sarkisian.
My thing with this national title game, and guys, try to hear this out a little bit. I don't think either one of these teams are as good or as bad as the last time we saw them play. I don't think Clemson is as good as I saw them play against Ohio State.
Yep.
Because they shut out Ohio State, dude. So that's complete dominance. Clemson's good. They're not that dominant. I'm sorry. They're not. If otherwise, they would have been all season, and they weren't, okay? And then Alabama, who struggled kind of with Washington offensively, is not that inept offensively. I mean, there was times when Jalen Hurts looked really good this season. Even you talked about him. You liked the way he looked, and he was better than most Bama quarterbacks, what they usually bring to the table. So I don't think that we can evaluate both of these teams based on their last performance. And I think that a lot of people are doing that, and hence they're betting Clemson.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Dream. It's almost like a smoke and mirror show on what just went down.
It's almost like a smoke and mirror show, 100%. My thing is, listen, I got no problem if you're going to bet Clemson. Okay, obviously, I mean, I got no problem if you're going to bet whoever. I mean, it's your money, so you do what you want to do. But the thing with Clemson, I want to beware people of. Some of you guys who are taking Clemson with the money line, please don't put it all on the money line. If you plan on taking Clemson, take a portion of the money and put it on the money line if you like it, but take a portion of the money and leave it on the spread. Because even though I know you just saw Clemson's defense look that dominant against Ohio State, if you go back and you do your research and you check what they've done in regular season, I know, all right, they got momentum, this is the end of the season, I know the rhetoric. Facts are facts, though. Sometimes you just get, everything kind of aligns for you the right way and it just works out. That, to me, is what happened with this Ohio State game. Don't expect them to just go in there and push Bama around quite like that, because Bama's defense and Ohio State's defense, two completely different defenses.
Yeah, I agree with you. The thing is, though, is Clemson offensively, Dream, I'm trying to find, besides Ohio State, I'm trying to find a defense that they played that was even close to Alabama, and I'm just not seeing it on their schedule at all.
No, you're not going to see it on their schedule.
I mean, at the beginning of the year, they beat Auburn 19-13, but that was at the beginning of the year, and I think that this team has gotten better as the season progressed. I don't know. You got a couple of weeks here. I'm sorry, like a 10-day layoff or whatever this ends up being, but it might be a little difficult. I mean, the thing is, if Watson starts struggling early, how are they going to react, and how are they going to overcome that? That's the key ingredient to this game. They have put up a lot of points in the last 4 games, Dream. I mean, 31, 42, 56, 35, and even 42 versus Pittsburgh.
When they lost, yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's going to be a good game. I think
some of those points, though, are an aberration, because some of those points, and you and I both know that, came at garbage time.
Yeah.
Okay, in a bunch of these games. They got garbage time points in a bunch of these games, and we did see them, and please don't take this too lightly. We did see them struggle to beat Louisville, and Louisville, their defense is probably one of the worst defenses in college football.
I don't want to say that.
I mean, dude, if you base it on Louisville's last 5 games, I don't know what happened to their defense, Pat.
Yeah, they looked awfully
God damn, dude. I'm just saying.
I mean, really? Yeah, exactly. Big ups to my man, Fast Eddie. That's a really nice photo that you just sent.
Their defense was atrocious in the last few games. I love Fast Eddie. Always got his eyes on the prize.
Yeah, that
no matter what is going on in the world of sports, Fast Eddie is all about
the females. Exactly.
The females.
Right on. So, Dream, that line is -7 right now.
Fast Eddie, you must be some type of I bet you got like a porn bunker.
Yeah.
You got to put your fingerprints up. It's on the fingerprint code to open the door. He puts his hand up, then it does his eyes, a retina eye test, and it says, "You are now cleared to enter." Yes. Fast Eddie's porn bunker.
The layer. He's got one of them layers like on that 50 Shades of Grey stuff. You know what I mean?
It's like the Bat Cave. You up in that piece.
Yes.
Chicks just everywhere, and you just go in there. You're just like, oh.
Got a couple of stripper poles in there laughing.
No doubt. Fast Eddie, keeping it moving. One of the faithful. Love to see you out there, and keep the pictures coming as we love the eye candy.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for the eye candy. We appreciate it, Dream. So
once again, I want to talk about, I've talked about Chip Kelly getting fired. Thank God.
Yes. Your boy is gone.
Thank God he's gone. I'm sorry. I've listened. I'm so happy to see him out of there. I'm so happy seeing Fran is taking a couple steps in the right direction. As I'm a 49er fan, you guys know, I think this is definitely the first of many steps in the right direction. I'm glad they got rid of the GM as well. I think that also was a great move by them. I'm very interested in seeing who they're going to bring in behind him. I told you, my love is of Eric Mangini. I don't know if they're going to go in that direction, but I would hope that they would look in that direction. The other thing we're going to talk about is Rob Ryan out of pro football, which is another, as far as I'm concerned, bright spot for an NFL. But I do think that Rex Ryan would be an excellent college football coach. I think he'd make an excellent college football coach. I don't know what is going on with Minnesota. There's a lot of crap going on down there. I know that they have, not Minnesota Vikings, guys, Minnesota, the college team. There's been some, they fired their head coach, and there's some rumblings about that they've approached Rex. I don't know if Rex is ready to coach this fast right out of the gate. I also don't know if he's interested in coaching college football, but I think that Rex Ryan would be a great college football coach because he's a player motivator, and young kids really buy into that type of coaching style. I think he'd have a lot of success on the college level and rewrite his legacy, so to say, because right now, when you think about it, he's a failing NFL coach.
Yeah, can you imagine if he went like you're saying, Minnesota to Big Ten?
No doubt, dude.
I mean, because that's
awesome.
A defensive-minded conference,
And he could restore his legacy. Now, I don't know that Minnesota's a spot for him. I may not go there.
Yep.
I think he probably could do a little bit better. I don't know what school would court him or really would want him. Dude, I wouldn't mind seeing him go to Florida, to be honest with you.
Florida or LSU, Dream. There you go. And they you know what? He should probably pick up the phone.
No doubt.
Call Chip. Get together with him.
No.
And a prolific offense.
Let his brother go mess with Chip's defense. I think Rex Ryan is a head coach. I think he's a head coach. I want him as a head in college, a head coach.
All right.
Definitely want him in college as a head coach. But I think he needs – I don't know that Minnesota is that program for him. I agree with you 100%. LSU, oh, my gosh. I think LSU would be a great spot for him.
Absolutely, Dream.
Rewrite his legacy. And, guys, in case you don't know this, Nick Saban was not a good NFL coach.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So, and he's revered now as one of the best college coaches ever. Rex Ryan could go rewrite his whole name by going to college and being successful.
I agree with you.
I think that'd be an incredible look for him. I need to get in touch with his agent, and for a small fee, I could work the contract out for them.
Because he'd get big bucks, too.
No, get big, no doubt.
So I think it would be a pretty good move. But anyway, Dream, since you're on the subject of the NFL,
yes,
we have some games this weekend.
Dude, it is shaping up to be a very bizarre weekend in the NFL. I can't remember a weekend that you had two starting quarterbacks with big question marks.
Yes.
Okay? You got big question mark, and then on top of the big question marks, it's like in the same game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. That's crazy.
It's absolutely insane. But the Raiders have announced Cook is going to be their start quarterback, as McLaurin is. Doesn't McLaurin sound like he should be working at McDonald's?
Pretty much.
Give me a big loin.
It's like the pork loin sandwich, the McLaurin.
Give me a McLaurin. I'll take one McLaurin meal to go. But poor McLaurin got his opportunity, and then don't you love? This is what I love, dude. The backup goes in the game and then gets hurt. Like right after the starter leaves, backup comes in within like one possession. The backup gets hurt. It's like, come on, dude.
I know. That's brutal. That's just a brutal way to go down.
I would have to be incapacitated to get me off the field if I was the backup and got an opportunity to start. They would be like, he was playing with a broken leg, y'all.
Right on.
There's no way I would leave the field. I'd be out there in a wheelchair trying to play because you might not get another shot.
No, exactly. Especially if you're proven to be, a little fragile out there, Dream. So, when you look at this here, Texans are -3.5 now. Listen, you give me the defense versus defense here. Clearly, Houston's got the advantage over the Raiders.
I do think Houston's defense is better. I don't think Houston's defense is as good as their rank, though.
36.5 total here, Dream. One of the lowest playoff totals I've seen in years. 36.5. They're expecting this to be one of those historic Houston ugly games.
Houston seems to do this to us every season.
17-10. It's almost like but I'm just happy that Cincinnati's not in this year.
No doubt to play Houston.
You know, yeah.
Thank God, right? Jeez.
Right on. It's just
let's give them a splash of the Raiders.
Yeah, at least we got the Raiders involved this year. But
I feel so bad for Derek Carr, man. I felt because and you know what Derek Carr is reminding me of? Carson Palmer.
Yeah, exactly. Right on. So you know what? You got that game going where the Texans, believe it or not, Dream 7-1 at home this year.
I know.
They've won a lot of games at home. So I know you got that situation going, and Connor Cook, really? He was a horrible college quarterback. I can't imagine him being in this game. You know what, Dream? Obviously, we're going to talk about it this weekend, but I am definitely leaning the Houston Texans here.
I am definitely, too, with you.
All right.
Definitely.
What about the Seattle games up to 8 points now versus the Lions?
I am going to let you guys in on a little something. Your boy is underdogging this year. I got an underdog that I like in the playoffs. I'm not going to unleash it, but it shouldn't be too hard to tell because I'm already talking about it as he just mentioned that. That game to me is... I want some points.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Even though the Seattle Seahawks are 7-1 at home?
I don't care. Not against the spread, though.
Yeah, they're probably like 2-6 against the spread or something crazy
not
like that.
Not against the spread, though.
I know. We got to take a look at that.
I am not. Guys. I'm just giving you a little preview. I'm gonna be dogging it.
Well, we're gonna have the conversation with the evil genius on Saturday.
I don't need the evil unless he's telling me he's taking Seattle.
They gonna throw more on the dog at that point. Oh man! And then obviously,
I want to hear if the evil genius gives me the total annihilation.
Yes, right.
I'm gonna have the banker on standby for that. Just hang on. I just want to hear his thoughts, and I'll be right back to you.
About to double down on this one.
Dip off the show real quick for a minute. Hey, give me another
home equity line.
Home equity line. I am taking the Lions.
All right. And then obviously on Sunday we got the two big games here. We've got the Dolphins at the Steelers. Dream.
Yes.
You know what? Don't go. Don't do me a favor. Don't go losing your money on Saturday.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to save some for Sunday.
No, I don't.
Really? Well, if you want to go ham on this game, I'm just saying, don't be trying to be reloading on Sunday.
We haven't talked about the Dolphins starting quarterback.
I did read that they're making a decision to stick with Matt Moore. I did read that. But and you know what, Dream? I don't know if it's such a bad call. He didn't play well in the Patriots game. But this guy's not bad. That's got to be one of the toughest coaching positions out there. If you think about it. No, just think about just Matt Moore, Ryan Tannehill. Who do you go with?
Neither.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
who's the third? Who's the guy on the bench?
Oh, I don't even know who their third stringer is. I didn't even look at that. I can tell you in a minute here, but
they going in there for a drubbing.
Yeah. You know what the problem is that it's the defense. I
know.
I mean, listen, this is one of the worst rush defenses in the NFL. And, I mean, Le'Veon Bell, come on. I mean,
you know what the thing is, though, the only thing I will say about the Steelers,
yeah,
when the Steelers don't get in an offensive rhythm, a comfortable offensive rhythm, they look crappy.
They do.
I've seen them in spots this season. Unfortunately, it's been on the road. But I've seen them in spots this season, and I'm like, why can't they get their offense going?
Yeah.
You know? And not against stellar defenses, but I have seen them in spots this season when they haven't gotten in rhythm and they've looked really crappy. And unfortunately, that's what the Dolphins are going to have to maybe look forward to because – and I don't understand why the Dolphins' defense isn't better than it is. I still have not been able to put my finger on that all season long. But it just has not been a good defense.
Yeah, you know what? And I mean, they're loaded with talent as well. And
Loaded.
It's just amazing how they just can't put it together. And you know what? Their third string quarterback, you know who it is?
Go.
T.J. Yates.
Go with him. I like that. So I really know what to do on Sunday.
Hey, Dream, don't be listen.
Okay.
You just put it this way, guys. If Twitter is crickets and you're not watching the NFL this weekend, you're going to wonder why. Because the Dream is getting murdered with this game. I don't know. I don't think. I honestly don't think Dolphins got a shot. I really don't.
No crickets. It'll be slow songs.
He's gonna be yelling at the refs, and the NFL is the worst product ever, and blah blah blah
slow
blah
songs
blah 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 blah. Yeah, I can tell where that's going already.
Go be some flowers. Good to get.
Hey, I'm just saying, you've seen how the NFL is going for you this year, so don't expect any drastic changes.
I saw my NFL went for me last year. That was last year.
The final game on the ticket will be in Lambeau Field in Green Bay as the New York Football Giants go into Green Bay. Dream, I don't know. You know what?
And of course, the Giants, because Tom Coughlin is gone, and because their head coach, would want to have a little bit of controversy going into this game. And I know that players are allowed to do what they want to do in their time.
Correct.
Okay, but let me explain to you why them going to Miami, and this I'm talking about in case you don't know what I'm talking about. Odell Beckham Jr. and Cruz and a few of the other Giants decided to make a little trip to Miami and have fun and do whatever. And of course, everybody's going to downplay it now and say it's no big deal. But here's the deal: you get beat by Green Bay Packers, it's going to be a big deal, and that's why you don't do it.
It's just such a difference in climate, too. I mean, you're going to sunny South Beach, then you're going to go over to the tundra. And I don't know. I mean, don't they have player meetings and stuff like that all week?
No, they do, and it was their day off. I mean, they've already been cleared by the coaching staff. It was their day off, and they could do what they want, and they don't want to address it, and they're trying to say they're focused. And I hear and understand all of that. But my issue is, okay, and I've said this before, certain guys on certain teams can do that kind of stuff and get away with it.
Sure.
Okay? If that was Tom Brady and Gronk and Bennett, like people be like, big deal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we know how they are. But you're talking about a team that has a lot of mental mistakes during games. I can understand the side of it. Hey, we wanted to free our minds. We wanted to have a good time, and so we could get prepared. I get that side of the argument too. But my issue is if you lose this game, everyone is going to talk. You've just given yourself another issue to talk about and to blame it on if you lose this game. Oh, I don't think that you guys were mind was in the game. Oh, what did you do with Miami beforehand? The timing stinks. There was no need to go. Listen, there'll be plenty of time for Miami. If you lose this game, then you got plenty of time. You can go Miami for 6 months.
I agree with you on that. I mean, you could go next week if you lose.
No doubt. You don't go to Miami before this game. If you guys needed to go clear your mind or do something like that, I don't know. You go clear your mind somewhere other than Miami is where you should have went. I'm sorry. Because it just created too much attention. And now, not only did it create that kind of attention, but it's a sideshow now. And you don't need this Packer team right now, their momentum and what they're doing. I mean, they're at the top of their game right now coming in. You're coming in to play them in their home field. Dude, you need to be beyond on top of your game. Yep. You guys, honestly, should have been watching film, practicing. Yep. I mean, Cruz, you maybe should have been working on your 40. You had the parachute harness to your back because his speed's been terrible this season.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, I'm sorry. This is just not the time to go to Miami. You could downplay it as much as you want. I don't feel it. I'm not saying that I'm going to take the Packers either yet, but I just don't like that they went to Miami. I'm sorry.
Rick Lopez, thank you very much. Dream, people can't stay away from sending photos.
I know.
Just can't, and that one is beautiful, by the way. I'm really feeling that one. So thank you very much. And, brother, just so you know, you are going down this week in fantasy football, along with everybody else in the nation, because I am going to take my title back. Dream, what else you got here, brother?
Let's see what else we want to take it to. I think we are done with the NFL. Want to talk about college basketball for a second as Grayson Allen is back in the lineup. 1 game suspension.
I can't stand him.
1 game suspension.
I can't stand him at all. I really can't.
That's ruffling some feathers.
That's almost like a little Johnny Football-ish.
That's ruffling some feathers, and especially out of Duke.
Yeah, right on.
That's bothersome for me out of Duke, because Duke is, you know, top program, Coach K, the legacy, the professionalism, all that comes with that. You bring Grayson Allen back in that game. I don't think that's a good spot. I don't care. Coach K is going to leave for a month and saying he wanted him back before he left. I'm sorry. I can't do that. Well, I don't get why you couldn't call him two weeks into your layoff and say, okay, bring him back here. That's not an acceptable explanation for me.
I hear you exactly.
Is that acceptable for you?
No.
Okay.
No, I think he's a distraction. I mean, they did have a route, you know what I'm saying, and Duke looked pretty impressive, but I mean, still, you know, I'm not a fan of him. Not a fan of him at all.
Not a fan of him either. I like his intensity a little bit, though, and you know what? He's part of the Duke package. I get that, but for me, one game suspension is not enough to get your point across, especially from a team like Duke. I think he needed to get a few more games under his belt as far as suspension concerned. I don't think that the schedule was all that difficult up and coming to bring him back. So I heard the explanation of, well, we wanted him back before I took my layoff. But, I mean, let's look at who you got. You got BC coming up, Florida State. I would have sat him for Georgia Tech, BC, Florida State, brought him back for the Louisville game.
Right on.
Okay, to me, I think that would have been a better look for Duke, to suspend him at least 2 games and bring him back for that. I think you could have got by those 2 without him. But, hey, I'm not coaching. They are. I don't think it's a good look by any means, and it's rough to stomach, especially out of Duke. On the other note, Butler last night beat Villanova 66-58, which is an impressive win for Butler. And, Hat, you're talking about, you know, that visiting team, you know, Villanova coming in to play Butler.
Yeah.
Very, very impressive win for Butler. You also had Notre Dame knock off Louisville, which to me was even more impressive because I don't think Notre Dame's that good.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think Notre Dame's that good at all. And Louisville goes in and gets beat by Notre Dame. We've talked before about college basketball and teams coming in to, you know, another team's house in these type of situations and getting knocked off. This is prototypical. Usual college basketball at its highest level. This is how it goes.
Right on, Dream. You have any more college basketball before I talk about the NBA?
Don't really have any more college basketball, but we do have UCLA going up against Cal tonight. This UCLA team, guys, been very impressive. They're giving 11. I don't know if you guys are into that. Our college basketball, I know mine isn't, is still not up to code, so to say, as far as picking games yet. I haven't really bet a whole lot on college basketball. I've gotten involved in a couple little small spots here or there, but I'm getting a couple of look-ins at a couple of teams and trying to, you know, get my feet solidly planted. I am going to be interested in this UCLA game tonight. I want to see UCLA play once again and see how they handle this Cal team. I don't expect them to have a whole lot of resistance. They're at home. They have a great home record. They're 8-0 at home. You probably want to just go ahead and take UCLA. I don't know about giving the 11, but I'm pretty sure UCLA is going to win this game. But let's get another look in at tonight before we go ham with them. Also, Gonzaga on the road late night at the same time, which stinks because I'm going to watch UCLA, not Gonzaga. But Gonzaga is on the road against San Francisco tonight. Gonzaga, another pretty decent team, I think. Want to get a look at them. You know, their program is always decent. They can always shoot the ball very well. So they're going tonight. And you also have Arizona going tonight against Utah. So some West Coast games this evening. It'll be on rather late. So once you guys get everything done at the crib that you need to get done, kick back, nothing to do, late night, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, turn the TV on. Probably can catch some of these West Coast games.
Yes, sir. Dream. So I got a chance to look at a little NBA the other night.
Good.
This Memphis Grizzlies team sucks. I am not a fan of them at all, and I think that this team, you got Conley.
I was going to say.
You know, I mean, they got Gasol and they got Randolph. Randolph can't score. Dude, they're doing it on defense. I get it, but this team, trust me, we can bet against this team at times because they're inflated with their lines. And we could pound the other side. I'm telling you, this team.
I remember the other day. Remember when I was having a fit? I can't remember who they were playing, and I was like, "Why are they giving points?"
OKC.
Okay, OKC, right, against OKC. And I was like, why are they giving points?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know that Westbrook got fouled out of that game. And he's been having a lot of antics, too, by the way, Westbrook. He threw the ball at the ref the other night. Did you see that? Threw it at his head. Yeah. I think this was last night. He threw nailed the ref right in the head with the ball, man. So I don't know, but he got a technical foul for it. But you know what? I see what this Grizzlies team is about, and I am not a fan, Dream. They went into the Lake Show and got beat.
Okay, but Lake Show's a little bit more improved than they were. I'm not going to go crazy with that.
I know.
Lake Show's a little bit more improved than, they were last season. But I've been wondering about this Grizzly team. And, I know they lost Mike Conley for a minute. I know I believe he's back in the lineup now.
Yes.
Okay. But they lost him for a minute. It seems like he's another one that goes down every season. He's out or hurt or injured with something.
Yep.
Okay, I believe you that they're not good.
Watch. You'll see. Take a look at them and watch.
Well, they're especially not good on the road. I mean, they're 9-9 on the road, so but they are pretty good at home, though, Hat.
Yeah, they're good at home, but there's going to be times where we could bet against them. Trust
okay.
me. All right. Another team in another game that I'm looking at tonight, and I believe that they'll bounce back after the absolute drubbing that the San Antonio Spurs handed them the other night. I believe that the Toronto Raptors hosting Utah tonight, I believe they'll win this game, Dream.
Okay.
So I'm going to get involved with the Toronto Raptors, provided that they're full strength as far as their roster is concerned. I'm going to take them tonight to beat the Utah Jazz in Toronto.
Okay.
All right. They're a 5.5 point. But you know what? I'm going to do it on the money line, Dream. And I'm going to mix it with something. I'm just not sure what yet. So we'll have to have that conversation. You see any other NBA that you're feeling?
Well, I like the Raptors. I like that call a lot, and I probably honestly would take them minus the spread. You said it was 5?
5.5.
I don't really have a problem with that. I like the Raptors to beat the Jazz by that, but I mean, obviously I'll have to take a look at it. There's 2 other spots you might want to look at.
Okay.
One is the Portland Trailblazers, got the LA Lakers coming into town.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got for a spread on that?
6 points.
6 points. I do like Portland. The other spot you could look at is, what do you got for a spread on the Pacers-Nets game?
Pacers-Nets, I'm looking at it right now. Just give me 1 second. 10.5. Indiana is minus 10.5 in that game versus New Jersey, Dream.
New Jersey. No side said Nets. I didn't even go that way, see?
That's what Dream calls them, New Jersey.
I do call them New Jersey still. Listen, I mean, the Pacers need a win worse than ever right now. And I know they've been playing some bad basketball, but I still think they're a lot better than the Brooklyn Nets.
Nets are 1-16 on the road.
There you go. There you go. And when you're having when you need a win worse than ever, usually the doctor says, go get yourself some Brooklyn.
Right on. Exactly. And you know what? I was pissed because I'm going at the end of the month. I'm going to the Alamo Dome in San Antonio.
Yes.
And I was hoping to catch a Spurs game, but they are going to be on the road the weekend I'm going to be in Texas.
Wow.
That sucks. But whatever. It is what it is. I might find something else to go to. But, on that Saturday night before the Royal Rumble. So, Dream, you got any ice?
The ice. Let's go take a look at the ice. The ice has been a little bit rough as of late, but really? I haven't called anything. My last call on the ice was a loss, actually. So you have to excuse that because New Jersey went on a little tight winning streak. So we weren't able to capitalize against them. They won their last game. As far as tonight is concerned, you do have the Sharks going against the Wild. You guys know I love this Shark team. Sharks dropped, I believe, 2 since the last time we were on and had a chance to discuss. Kind of a tough game tonight against the Wild because the Wild have been very improved this season and been playing good hockey. That's who New Jersey lost. New Jersey beat the Bruins. I haven't had a lot of the Bruins. I have not historically had a lot of success with that Boston Bruin team. I don't know what it is, but me and the Bruins, I think I'm done messing with them. I think they're one of my teams. I got a couple NFL teams like that I just don't ever mess with, either for or against. I think the Bruins are going in that category because I just haven't had a lot of success with them over the years. And they did lose to New Jersey, which was, to me, mind-boggling because I think that the Bruins are hands down a lot better than they are. Anyway, back to the Sharks, Wild. I like the Sharks. I don't love the Sharks, but I do like them tonight. Not a huge play, not a big call on my part. I much preferred him against the Red Wings on Saturday, so I'd probably look forward to them on Saturday. But the Sharks is maybe a better look than taking. I mean, if you're not comfortable with the Pacers as they're, kind of losing themselves, you might want to look to take the Sharks tonight and put them with the Raptors.
All right.
I don't love the Sharks, though. I like them. I don't love them.
Multi-sport parlay, Dream. I'm with you on that.
Multi-sport parlay.
Well, you know what? Hey, we'll take a look. You and I will talk ice later on, but I definitely like the Crafters tonight.
And the other play spot in the ice you want to look is the Chicago Blackhawks. Got the Sabres coming in town. I mean, the Blackhawks are going to be given quite a little bit as far as the money line is concerned. Blackhawks should definitely handle the Sabres. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. I like what the Blackhawks have done this season as well, but the Sharks are just that team for me. Every year I've tried to find somebody to ride. The Sharks have been the team that I've ridden like that this season, but the Blackhawks is another good look. You might want to go in that direction.
All right, sounds good, Dream. So you got anything else before we close out?
That's it, brother.
All right, man. So let's get up out of here and get ready for the weekend. So
guys, we're going to start a playoff fantasy football daily. It'll go Saturday to Sunday.
Yes, 4 games on the ticket, and you'll have 8 teams to choose your players from. And what I'll do is I'll go on and I'll invite everybody that participated in the last contest, and I'm looking forward to taking the Dreams money.
Oh, here we go.
Yet again. Let's go for it, man. What do you got to do to close out?
You didn't take my money this time. Rick Lopez did. I want to thank Shea.
I got second place.
I know. Whatever. Shea Whitehead. We got Terrence back in the house. KMVU, the incredible Marley Mar. Mark, get at me with your hockey. We want to talk about that a little bit, guys. I'm working on some guests for the future. We'll definitely get some hockey guys in here. Just want to finish this NFL thing and this college national title thing out really strong. We obviously have the wild card weekend coming on, gang. You know how I feel about max effort, playoffs, in that situation, that whole package. To me, if you're going to bet, this is where you bet, and this is where you put your money. If I'm going to lose, I'd rather lose with guys that go home and have to hit the couch. If they lose, I'll feel much better about that situation than just losing and then shaking hand, hugging it up, and then playing the next night. So that's just how I feel about that. Right on. KMVU, Marlins out there, Joseph Del Rosario Fast, 8072 in the porn boiler. We should call it the point boiler. LA Wizkid, Jason Riley, Jeff Ryan, Terry Bouchard, Sir Mata, Vegas Girl 92661. JC is in the house. Bang the book out there. My boy Slick Rick Lopez. Good to see Shy Picks there. OJFB Wuchiji. Shy Picks talking about a 16-team parlay. I don't know what 16 teams you can find right now, player, but
they're talking tennis right now, these guys.
Okay, that's cool. Go ahead and get involved with that. But 16 teams, baby, we only got 4 wild card games this weekend.
I know. Well, you got totals.
I don't know where you're getting 16 from.
You got totals. You got a bunch of other stuff going on. But
Shane, I know you say Bama's going down. If I had a quarter for every time I heard that in the last 10 years.
Yeah, right. Be in good shape.
I wouldn't be out here hosting the biggest show in the world. I'd be on the biggest yacht in the world, going up and down the French Riviera. But keep hope alive. I'm the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
All right. Sounds good, Dream. So, guys, I hope you're getting your New Year's resolutions popping and you're out there ready to conquer the world in 2017. We love you to death. Go out there and get that money. Let's go.
Chris Brown, Soulja Boy, Celebrity Boxing going down this weekend.